In today's video, we are going to be building a highlight video together. My name is Ryan, I'm part of the Sports Reelz team. We are experts that go through and create highlight videos for athletes. In this case that we're gonna look at today, this is a high school athlete going to college. We're super excited to be able to work with this athlete. This is a center back, sometimes plays CDM. Okay, so just for a little more context, you can see over here on the side, every game that I go into, our team has already tagged all of the highlights from this particular game. So I'm just gonna run through some of the more important ones that we kind of noted, and then we're gonna make a decision whether that should make it into his highlight video or not, based off of his style and abilities. So if we started off on number 4, highlight number 4 from this game, if we look through it, so he's dropping in to the outside of the box, he receives the ball, makes a nice pass out to the outside back. Okay, the other team wins it. He positions himself well, wins it back, and then passes it out. So a pretty good play, but we're not showing the coach a whole lot there because even though he had good positioning, he was kind of already in that space. So we're not showing him really have to work to do anything. So we're going to keep moving through. Let's look at highlight now number 8 from this game. You can see him spotlighted there. So he's dropping off because he's got 2, and then he steps in and he wins it. And then he wins it with that player and then wins it again. So not a bad play here. It shows him winning the ball off a few different highlights. I think that could make it in. But since we're still new to this player, we're not exactly sure. Let's hold off on making one yet. I want to see a little bit more context here in what we're working with so that we know what we want to start adding to the highlight video. Okay, so moving into highlight 13 now. So the opponent makes a big touch forward. He's driving at him, and he's able to come in. So he does close down the space well. He does come in and make a tackle and knock the ball out. Again, we have to look at the opposing team, right, in the competition level. You know, was the other player really in good control there? Did he make a good touch, or did he kind of give it to us? I'm going to say he kind of gave it to him on that one, so let's keep looking. Okay, so 14. There's a pass back to us. It's on our back foot. We position and body shape well, and then we swing the ball around. So we might say that this highlight's maybe not as spectacular as the other ones, but if we really watch this again and we look at what's he really doing here, body position wise, he's got to get his body shape and he's got to get it turned quick to open up to make that pass. That's not really an easy thing for a center back to be able to do when the ball's coming at you like that and you have pressure on. Just because I know for a fact, going through a lot of videos and working with a lot of athletes, that you don't find a lot of the center back. You're not going to find a lot of content like that where the ball's coming back and you've got high pressure on you and you've got to get your body shape well to swing the ball. So we're going to include that one. So as we can see through this game, there's not a whole lot left here that we've kind of marked as being intentional. So again, that was the first game. So maybe we come back and pull some of those highlights in the end. And okay, so it's a big punt, right? Center backs, that's important for them to be able to win those balls out of the air. If we watch it again, but we're really trying to see what he's doing here. So think about this play is he does have good position. Actually, at the same time, if you look at it closer, the other player with the positioning could have gotten his head on it because it hits the athlete in the chest. So for me, it's like he actually could have done a little bit better positioning there to make sure that the other player couldn't have gotten his head on it. So I know I'm being a little crucial here, but it's really important. These college coaches, the recruiters, whatever level you're trying to play at, they're going to be doing the same thing. So I'm going to hold off on that one and see if we have any better headers that come through. Okay, so highlight 18. We've got it tagged as forced turnover. You can see he's stepping to him there, kind of runs through the ball and wins it. So puts pressure on him, wins it. I like that play, but then at the end, the pass is a little off, and it goes back to the other team, so we're going to skip it. Okay, so here's another header play. This one, again, he doesn't have to do a whole lot of anything with the opponent because it goes way over him. And we do position ourselves well to get the head on it, but with not having any body on him there, and for him to head it, but he's heading out instead of back up the field. For me, it's like we could do a little bit better there, so we're going to hold off on that one. Highlight number 33, we've got a tackle and positioning. So here he is. You saw him spotlighted in the back there. Okay, he comes in, makes a tackle. Ball comes back in, and he bodies up and heads it out for a corner kick. So this actually isn't bad. This could be something that we want to use. with a lot of these defensive plays in the back, what we're trying to do is find, again, anything can happen in a soccer game, but we're trying to figure out like what are the most realistic tackles. Okay, so here's a set piece. People are always curious about set pieces. Should you put them in? Should you not? If you're a serious free kick taker with like where you can put some serious drive and some serious spin and get it in there and have some dangerous opportunities, then that's okay to showcase later in the video. Unless you're just scoring them in off the post and off the, like if you're just scoring a ton of them, definitely that's something you can put higher up in the reel. But something like this where the kick is not necessarily, it's not like a super strong kick. You know, he places it well into his teammate's head. But what does a coach really want to see, right? Do they want to see a defender that's putting in free kicks, or do they want to see a defender defend, right? So that's our priority right now, is to look for that first before we start looking for some of these free kicks and things like that. So let's move on here to the next play. Look at a tackle. So he's positioning himself well, makes the tackle. Again, this might be kind of similar to the first one we saw, where is the player in full control, or do they take a big touch out for him to be able to get it? And I think they just make it a little too easy for him there. He does a great job, but we're going to try to find some where some players put him under a little bit more pressure. So this one gets dumped over. Player tries to go over him. Okay, so he's using his body, gets between the player and the ball, uses his body, pushes him off, then does a little fake, turns it to the outside. They end up calling a foul. But if we watch that again, right, there's a lot more going on in this play than any plays we've had yet, right? So a lot of times as a defender, you're going to get the ball coming in behind you, and you got to figure out what to do as the defender's on your back, right? So, or excuse me, as the attacker tries to get it. He turns it out well here, ends up getting the foul, but he gets it out of the pressure and was going to turn it back up to restart possession. So I really like this play. We're going to add this one to the highlight reel. I think coaches are going to like it too. Okay, so moving into the third game here, let's go ahead and jump down to some of these important highlights that we've already tagged. So we're looking at highlight number 5 here. So here we are. Again, he's playing center back again this game, putting some pressure on. Player tries to turn. He's able to get it and start the possession. So that's pretty good. But if we're thinking about playing at the next level, we want to think about the size, right? So if you just look at there are going to be smaller guys and bigger guys playing at all levels. But if we look at him and how big he is and how much size he has, we want to find him trying to do that against bigger players. So with this opponent just being a little bit smaller, right, and him throwing his body, like, yeah, but it's a little bit easy for him, right? So we're going to keep looking, try to find some bigger bodies that he's going up against instead of using that one. I think overall it's a good play. I just think we want to find a little more competition for him. Okay, so moving on to highlight number 10 here. Gets the ball at his feet. Okay, gets a little pressure, and then he was wanting to find his center defensive mid. So that's great. Again, maybe not enough pressure. He had a little bit too much time. We want to find something like that where he's got a little more pressure under him, like one of the first highlights we found where he had to open up his body real quick. You see what I mean now, where those are harder to find, where you've got tons of pressure on you when you get the ball. So let's move into highlight number 12 now. So we've got this one down as a blocked pass. So you can see they're coming down our left wing, and they try to make the pass through, and he blocks it. So positioning well all the way back. I like this play. So he's positioning himself. There's an attacker coming down the middle, so he breaks through on that and blocks the pass. It's great positioning overall, great positioning. I like this play a lot. This one, I'm going to make a note real quick. This one I think might make it in. Okay, I'm holding off right now. I haven't officially added it. That one I think is going to make it in, but let's see what other things we get here. So again, when you're building these highlight videos, a lot of times you just got to make notes of things as you go through. So now highlight number 17. So one time pass to his forward's feet. So that's great vision to have the ball come to your feet and then you play it out, even if you have no pressure. But again, no pressure. We're going to keep looking through. Let's look at the next one, highlight 18. So he comes in strong here, just misses the tackle. With him being the last defender, you make that tackle, you got to make sure you make it. And in this case, he doesn't, but look at his recovery to get back. Okay, so this is what makes this highlight pretty good, and while we're really thinking about adding it to the highlight reel, is he works his way back, uses physicality, player's not as physical, he goes down. So overall, great recovery to get back. Because he had that missed tackle in the beginning, we're not really trying to showcase that in the highlight video. We'll use this if we have to, but right now we're going to kind of move past that one. Let's keep going down the line. Okay, so fight for the ball. We've got tagged here, highlight 21. So wins the ball there, makes a pass, and then they lose it, so he wins it back. Beats the first player to the ball, uses his body to keep the second player off of him. Overall, pretty good play. Not bad. Let's keep looking, see what we've got. Because that one, again, it's good. You get a little 50-50 going on in there. You get him showing his body just a little bit. But if we can find some highlights that have more of in-game scenarios where players are driving at him, that kind of thing, versus just these little wins that are happening here, is going to be better. So let's keep looking for those. That's a great play. I think if you guys have that, that's something worth looking at putting into your highlight video. So now we move on to highlight number 32. So look at that, excellent. So, and look at that, finishes the pass off at the end. So let's look at this one again. So there's a lot in this, right? So first off, he's shadowing the defender, right? Defender's moving, or sorry, attacker, excuse me. And then when the attacker tries to, I'm going to cut it back to the beginning again. When the attacker tries to cut, he's ready, right? So you're showing some athleticism here. You're showing some strength in the legs. You're showing some IQ of defending, right? Let's play it back from there again. He's going to get the ball. As the attacker gets it, he tries to cut the other way, but we're able to get there before them. Then we hold them off. They go down, and then we stay composed and make the pass out to our left winger. So I really like this play. It's got a few more things in it, right? You guys can see how that has a little bit more in it than some of the other ones that we've passed up on so far. So let's keep moving through here. That was 32. Okay, so this next one here, let's look at 34. So big throw up, and he wins the header. So it's just a throw in the box. You might say like, oh, is that really that big a deal? So for me though, this is the header that he's had so far that has a ton of pressure on him, right? So bodies are going, they're both going up. He's having to use his body, position himself well, and then get the head, and then knock the head in the direction that he wants it to go, right? So all these little things are happening, and he does it well. And it's a crucial space because it's in the box. At a high level, you're going to have a lot of throws like this that are thrown into the edge of the box. So I think it's a great play. I'm going to include it. Maybe we end up taking that one out. Okay, so moving on, let's go a little bit further down. Let's go to highlight number 42 here. Beat attacker to the ball. So you can see the ball was knocked out, and they're just both sprinting across to get it. He gets there first, keeps them from having a counter down the field. But we're not showing a ton here, right? They're both running after it. He kicks it out. It's good, but let's keep looking. I think he's got better. Let's move down here to highlight number 44. So he had been drawn out, but now he's coming back into position. Seems simple here, but look what he's doing, right? He's running back into space. There's a guy with the ball, but he knows there's a player. Notice that little bit of movement he makes. He acts like he's going to jump towards the ball, but he knows there's an attacker sprinting in behind him for a run, so he can't jump to that, because if he's baited into that, then the attacker's the midfielder's gonna make the pass to the forward running in behind, and then they're gonna have a shot on goal. So these are the little pieces that you're looking for, that we can see that he's done here really well, that the coach and recruiter is gonna see as well. So what is he doing the entire time? He's blocking the passing lane. So when they do make the pass, he intercepts it, and their team recovers with the ball. So a lot of little pieces there to that, but as a center back, making that decision whether you're going to step to the ball or hold off and sometimes buy yourself time, or kind of wait until they have to make the pass, whether they're offsides or little things like that. So this highlight is a great one to add in. Recruiters will see some of the same things that I saw in that one. Okay, moving into the next game, let's jump into highlight number 4 from this game. Okay, he's riding him, keeping him turned backwards, and then steps in. When that ball gets a little further out of control, he steps in, wins the ball, and then restarts it for possession. I like this one, again, versus one of the other ones, because he's going up against a guy the same size as him. He's patient, he waits, and then once the player tries to turn out to the side, he steps in, wins it, and then he helps regain possession, has some composure there once he wins the ball. We're going to add that one into the reel. Let's look at highlight number 14. We've got a pass over midfield is what we have it titled as. So you can see there he makes a pass over the midfield to his teammate. It's not the cleanest, maybe not the best decision, so we're gonna pass on that one. A lot of the passes, you know, it has to come down to decision making. So let's keep going here. Okay, we got highlight number 34 here. Keep going here. Okay, we've got highlight number 34 here. Okay, so he's going to chase the ball down. That kind of went a little out. He gets a little pressure there. He holds him off well and still makes the pass out. Not a bad play. I think maybe we use this one. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. Okay, so again, number 4 has it, plays it out a little bit. He's got to go and win it. He can't play it to his left side because he's got pressure there. So he pulls it back, gets a little pressure, and then... So let's go down to the next one. Let's go highlight 37. Okay, so look at this. His teammates got him, so he's covering. Okay, ball looks like it goes out, but it's still in. And then check this out. Look at that. So let's watch that again. Maybe we make this one a little full screen here so we can see it. I'll make this a little bigger for us. So check this out. Gets a touch, runs through, and then we're sprinting. We're ready. Look at that. Look at that. Let me bring it back 10 seconds. Let's play that. So here he is. Player gets through. Now watch how he follows him, and then he makes the big touch to speed, and then he beats him with speed, right? So he waits, lets him take the touch, then he runs in, and he's the last defender in this play. I really, really like that one. That one's probably going to go up towards the front of the reel. Now, this play is a little bit longer, so we'll probably shorten it up a bit if it's going to go towards the beginning of the reel because we're trying to be dynamic in the beginning. We don't want the viewer, right, the recruiter watching it to take a long time, so we'll probably cut that a little bit earlier. Okay, so moving into game 5 now. We've got a total of, I think, 8 games. This is 5, so let's see what we can find here. Okay, so starting in game 5, he's actually now playing, looks like he's playing a little bit higher. We'll see if he ends up playing CDM or center back in this game. Okay, this play's not bad. I think you could show more there, right? I think you could show more there. Like, just being able to show your body more is better, and he wasn't able to really show that in that one. He did use his body, but I just think we should keep looking for some maybe a little bit better. So highlight number 2. So yeah, he's definitely playing CDM in this game instead of center back. Left-footed first time pass out. He was kind of waiting in that space for a while, so I don't think we use that one. Let's keep moving forward here. Highlight number 4. There's a little cheeky no-look pass there. So that's fun. That's nice. If we've got space at the end of the highlight reel and we want to add that in, we can. But are you showing a ton there? Let's see if we can find highlights that show a little bit more. Okay, so here, player presses him, makes the touch out. It's a little far. That player comes in and tries to win it. Is this play the cleanest? No. But does it have multiple things that we're showing? Yes. So first off, gets that first touch. He's ready for the player, cuts him. Second player comes in, but has to make the slide to get there. He keeps possession, and then he makes a left-footed cross, and the cross is a really beautiful cross into the head of his teammate. So I really like this play. If we're now showing him in the midfield, we need to start showing some more midfield tendencies instead of just center back. Okay, so let's move through here. Highlight 13. Okay, so we're moving through to highlight 13. He's still playing CDM. Okay, so they just lost it. Defensive transition. He gets into a good spot, wins the ball, and that's actually good little movement off the ball there too if his teammate could have found him. So I think if his teammate would have found him and he continues on the attack there, that's a good play. But to make it into our highlight reel, I just don't think it's going to make it there. Okay, moving through though, we'll move down to highlight number 21 here. And this is our last one tagged for this game. So let's see what happens. So he's trying to get back on the defensive side of this guy. Wins the ball and plays it out. So let's watch this one again. Let's make sure there's enough context here in this one. So he's running back. He's watching the player. Boom, tackles him right as he turns. He does a little step over, baits him that way, and then makes the pass out. So I like this play. We're going to add it in. Okay, so next game, let's go in here to highlight number 3. It's the first one we've got tagged here. Solid, like we've got it here. It's solid positioning, solid defensive shape. If you look, like he checks his shoulder here to see what's out on the side. He sees that player going, boom. He goes a little left. So he's just trying to stay in these passing lanes here for this play and the player out on the wing. And I think he does a good job of it. And we don't have anything like this yet with him in the holding mid position, only at center back. So I'm definitely going to add that highlight in to the reel. Okay, so if we move forward here, let's look at highlight number 7. Okay, he's a little bit smaller here on the other side. Makes a touch here, boom. Oh, so, okay. Here he is in the midfield again. I'm gonna slow this one down. Full screen it so we can see here. Okay, so receives the ball. He has pressure. He gets open first off, then makes a quick touch back that way, creates a ton of space, and then passes forward through to into teammate with space. So like this play a lot as him in the midfield role. So we're gonna add that one to the reel. And okay, let's look at highlight 11. See what we've got here. Okay, so nothing really there. Let's see if it continues on though. Okay, gets the ball, uses his body, using that big body. Awesome, but not a ton there. So let's keep looking. Highlight 14. So we got a shadow. I love my shadow plays. So shadow is just, sometimes we use that word and basically it's, you know, again, it's like the game you guys play in drill sometimes where you're just trying to shadow the other person across the line or across the cone line. So if we see him here, right, and then left, steps in and wins it. So we've seen him with a couple other plays like this, but I still really like these. Of course, we're not going to make the entire reel of this, but I think that gets us up to like 3 or something like that at this point. So not a bad play to keep. So let's look at highlight 16 here, high pressure pullback. So let's see what we mean by that. Boom, helps win it there, gets the ball, and does a quick little pullback. So if we watch that again, make it a little bigger for you guys. So he almost overcommits on the pressure, but ends up getting a touch on it, helps win it. His teammate plays him. He does a quick little pullback there to keep them from getting it, and then continues possession. So I like this play. Let's add that in for all the reasons I just mentioned. We're showing him do a few different things there. So, okay, next play up. Let's go with this possession play, see what's here. Okay, so moving on to highlight 18. Let's see what we have here. Here he is, gets the ball, one time through ball. Wow, so just solid vision, but something we don't have from him as a holding mid yet is a through ball. Not a hard ball to make, but it is showing a little bit different. We don't have anything of this of him doing anything forward passes like this yet, right? So that might come out. It is on the simpler side, but I think it is good to show some of the vision there in that play. But yeah, more than likely that one's going to come out. So move down to highlight 28. We've got a possession here. So we expect this play to be a little bit slower, just possessing the ball around. Makes a pass up. Players on him, hands up. So again, something we don't have in the midfield yet, right? Is him making a little bit of possession. So again, something we don't have yet is him with a little bit of possession in the midfield. So if we look, right, it's super simple. He's just making the pass, but now he gets one, players on him, he controls it. Yeah, super simple. Maybe we don't. We just threw that other through ball in there of the possession. I mean, I like how he's got the player on his back and he still makes the right decisions, but maybe it's a little too easy to show. So let's keep moving through here. Okay, so let's move into highlight 30. Makes a touch with the left foot, goes in. So it's a goal. So guess what? Every player is going to want to put this in their highlight reel. Okay, every player is going to want to score a goal. Do we need to be able to convert? Yes. Could that win a team a game that a recruiter's looking for? Absolutely. Is this going to beat some of our other plays? Probably not. Do we want to try to squeeze it in at the end of the reel? If we can, yes. People love to have their goals in there, want to showcase their goals. We're going to make sure that we're showing everything we can of this player first before we try to squeeze in that goal. For now, I will put it in. But here's the reason why this goal, again, it's not like he's getting up, getting over, and getting a header. It's dropping all the way to the floor, and yeah, he's redirecting it into the goal. That's actually hard to do when you think someone's going to head it, and then you have to redirect it because they don't get it. It's probably not going to be towards the top because we're going to want to show some defending plays and a lot of other context first. Let's keep moving on. Highlight 34. Let's make it big screen again. There he was spotlighted. Okay, so he beats that player to the ball. They both go in on it. Look at that physicality. That other player should have had him. Based off body position and everything, he should have been able to hold him off. But he's able to get around. Again, here he is chasing there. Gets a touch on it. And then, boom, he gets to the side of him, so he's not going through the back. Big body is always good when you're looking at a defender. Let's move down here now to highlight 38. Let's take a look here. Here he is in the middle of the field. Okay, so other teammates pressing the ball. He waits for it. Ball kind of gets knocked out, and position as well. But not enough for us to add into the reel. So let's keep looking. Highlight 39. We've got it titled as win ball back. Again, he's a little bit smaller there. So he's running after it now. And okay, so he's just tracking back and helps the team win the ball. So that's it for this game. So let's move to the next one. Okay, so we've got 2 games left. So let's jump down here to highlight 11. Looks like we've got another goal tagged. You can see him there. And white. And he's waiting. They win the ball back. Now he's sprinting down to the goal to get in there and score. So great for him, paying attention to the transitions here. And when he sees him in, he takes off. And he makes sure to get a foot on that and put it in the back of the net. So good goal. Not something where we're going to say, oh, we necessarily need to put that at the very beginning to show that he's scoring a goal. But it is nice to show that midfielders have an attacking presence. So we are going to add that in, and it'll probably be later in the highlight video. Okay, so moving into the last game here, let's take a look at highlight number 3. Pass down the right sideline so we can see him. He's in the very back. And he steps in and wins that. That's awesome. But then making the pass again, he's got a lot of pressure there, so he's got to knock it out, but it doesn't make it to his team. So we'll try not to use that one. Let's look at this interception on the throw-in. He's following his runner, steps in and wins it. I like that. But again, makes the pass and turns it over. So absolutely would have used that play, but there was a turnover there off of his pass, so probably going to hold off on it. Okay, so there he is in the back. You saw him spotlighted. He's waiting. They try to actually play it in behind him there, and he steps in. So if he would have won that ball there, let's play this again. You see him number 5 in the back there. Okay, so he's got 2 players to watch out for, which I like, players that having to make that decision and make the right decision in the back. But he doesn't win the ball when he gets back there. He does slow him down and get in front of him. But for me, it's just not necessarily important enough to throw into his highlight reel. So let's look at this one, pressure and track back. So you saw him, he stepped up there as the ball was coming through and then tracks back and now wins the ball, gives it to his team. So let's look at this one again. Let's see what's going on here. So he steps hard to him, thinking the ball's coming. It doesn't. So then he drops off and then the ball's played. So I think just a good, solid positioning play here. Good decision by him to then track back as this ball might come in behind, and then he's right. The ball does end up coming there, so he's kind of reading the game there. That's why we got that tag, reading the game. So I like it. I'm gonna add that one to the reel. Okay, so now moving on to highlight number 8. Let's see what we have here. He's in the back, last defender right now. Ball gets passed back to him. He steps up. So I like showing these types of plays from center backs if we can, where you get the ball and you've got to drive out because you don't have the option. You make that decision and you beat that first line of pressure. I really, like he just did there, I like that a lot. Like to be able to show recruiters that, because it's an option that they know that you're going to have coming out of the gate playing on their team. The only challenge here is then he makes the pass and doesn't completely get it through. So that one's a tough one for me. I'm torn. I'm gonna go past it. It's tough for me to do that, but he doesn't connect it all the way through. So I'm gonna skip through to highlight 9 here, and we're gonna keep moving. So here he is, last defender. Keeper has it, rolls it out. Okay, so he's making a big ball forward, over the top. Oh, it's so close. That is so close. If we're gonna show those, they really want to be on point if we can. So we're gonna move past it. Highlight 18. Big tackle there. Oh, another big tackle. Look at that. So 2 big tackles there. I like this one. The first one, player's got plenty of time, but he's able to sneak in there and win it. Able to get his foot on both those. That's great. So we're definitely adding that one into the highlight reel. Yeah, so with him just making both tackles there, I like it a lot. It shows him getting big. One thing we might decide is maybe there's too many there that we have of that, and we want to show something a little bit different once we start piecing the highlight reel together. So let's go and do that now and try to get the right order and see what all we have. And we might end up being in a pretty good place. Okay, so to save us time, I already went through it and put it in order, and now we're going to go over it. So to start off with, we have the intro static page that's showing his information, super helpful. And then right after that, we're going to jump into the first highlight. So we chose this one because it's showing great track back, it's showing speed, and it's showing him get in and close down space at high speeds. Great highlight to start with. Secondly, we show one of these tough ones where defender is kind of facing the end line, and he's got to make a decision on where he's going to go with the ball, right? Knock it out or try to carry it around the outside. So this highlights the one where he is dropping in to try to defend 2 attackers at once, cuts off the passing lane. 5 is one of the shadow plays where he steps in, he tries to cut him the other side, he steps in and wins it. Really, really, really like that play. So far in the first 5 plays, let's talk about what we've shown. The first one is closing down space and defending really well at a high speed, running speed. The second one is another defensive scenario where the ball gets put in behind us, right? And we're having to go back towards the end line with a attacker putting pressure on our back. And we've got to make a decision to get out of there. Really, really liked that play and how he did that. The next play was a 1v2 where he's got to make a decision on, is he going to step, is he going to not? And then he does a good job at cutting both out by cutting off that passing lane until they try to make the pass through, and he wins it. And then this play is showing where he's stepping in on a player who's facing away from their own goal. They're facing backwards, and he steps in and they try to make a touch around on the other side, and he's quick enough, athletic enough to get over and win the ball there, and then physical enough to hold him off as he's dribbling up the field and then finds his winger on the left side. So now let's move into what our next 5 highlights are going to be. So number 6, this is that first touch that I love that's really tough at this high speed. Let's watch that one again. Again, you can see how fast this happens, right? Boom. Love that one. Love to mix it in. But I waited to show some of his defensive abilities first. Now we're going to show one where he's tracking back. So again, a different defensive scenario. But you guys remember this one. And he steps in and blocks it all the way through. So he's watching those runs all the way through until they get closer to goal, and then steps in and blocks the passing lane. This one here, again, he steps in on the pass, wins a tackle. Okay, great. So we're showing him winning more tackles. Okay, 9. Now we're going to mix it up and start to mix in a little passing, right? A little accuracy. He can't play it there. It starts to open up, but he decides to make the long ball, finds his feet. So now we've got a passing play. We can show some of that passing accuracy. Okay, so now we want to move back and show another big physical play. Boom, man, what a physical play here. He does awesome there. So let's talk about before we go any further, right? Okay, so I'll just kind of pause it back on this play. So now what we've got is the next 5, okay? After we showcased a lot of his different types of defensive scenarios and abilities, we then move into a really nice first touch, which is showing him on the ball, which is huge. We then go into, we wanted to mix that in and show it earlier rather than later. Then number 7, we come back to a really strong decision of him just positionally as the team is attacking, dropping back in, and then winning and blocking that pass and stopping the attack. And that's what we want to show right now, is stopping attacks. So right after that, we went in and we showed him just winning tackle after tackle after tackle, just showing him stepping in and getting stuck in, honestly. Then we want to start to showcase a little bit of other things now that we've started to add up and show that he can tackle, he can defend in these different scenarios. What else can he do? So we show him passing, and not just a pass on the ground, like a little bit of an elevated ball to a teammate's feet. And then number 10 is just this huge body, because we've shown him tackle in a lot of different scenarios, but now we're showing how strong he is, right? And we're showing the physicality there. So that's why we included that play there. And so now let's jump in and let's keep going. Highlight 11 for our center back / CDM. This one we did end up deciding to keep in. Really smooth, defensive, just him getting his body in there. So now we're starting to mix in some of his CDM plays. Nice first touch and good ability. So it's just showing more of him on the ball, more attacking. Now that we've kind of firstly showed some of the defensive plays, we're going to start to mix in some of the offense as well. Okay, so now we're jumping into number 14. This is showing him step in, make 2 big tackles there in the middle of the field. And then 15, we're finally jumping in. We're showing him being able to jump up and win a 50-50 in the air with some competition in the air. Okay, so we got those 5. So let's move to the next 5. 16. So now we're starting to showcase more of his touches, his techniques on the ball with highlight 15 through 20. We're starting to showcase a little bit more on the ball, making some passes. So less dynamic, more shiftiness in the midfield, starting to show a little more on the attack. And now that we've showed some of those, we're jumping back and again, we're showing this one really to showcase, again, him able to quickly find a teammate and be able to make that pass. So again, more offensively than defensively. Now we're going in and showing we're jumping back in and showing a little bit more defensive work, right? So we just showed another shadow play, and in this one we're showing him kind of shift in and show some shape. And so again, not as important as some of those other defending plays we started off with, but this one still shows him and positionally well in the CDM role. So now let's jump into what we're going to show next. So just kind of to close it out, this is, again, another ball where he puts some pressure on. Highlight 2 is same thing, puts a little pressure, then he tracks back to win it. And then the last 2 are going to be, this is the one where he runs in and scores that we showed earlier, and then this one's going to be the one that he scores off the corner. So again, those goals aren't showcasing a ton. Is showing that he is able to convert and score goals, but not as important as a lot of the other plays that we're showing, so we kept those in at the tail end of the highlight reel. So overall, this is a really, really great highlight reel. Of course, we are critiquing a lot during this, but again, that's because we know that the recruiters that are going to be watching this are also going to be critiquing it. So we have to do that. Overall, all the plays we looked at were great, but we're trying to pick out the top 24 and then put that into the best order, right? So there's a lot of orders that could have been done with this reel that I would say would not work and wouldn't catch the attention of a recruiter that's watching it and have them watch it all the way through. I think the way we've done it is the best order possible to get them to watch it all the way through, as for all the things we just mentioned. We are super excited for him to share this out with some recruiters and start to get some feedback. We think he'll have a lot of success with this video. If you guys want to learn more, please watch more of our videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can see walkthrough videos like these, or you can just watch through example highlight videos of a lot of athletes that we work with. Or you can go to sportsreelz.com. You can hire our expert team, and we can make an amazing highlight video for you just like this. Super excited for you guys in your recruitment journey, and thanks for watching.